President Donald Trump. To Switzerland and the World Economic Forum, where US President Donald Trump has rolled out his so-called Board of Peace. He and representatives of several other countries signed the document formally establishing the group, which he says will work in conjunction with the United Nations. The Board of Peace was originally part of the Trump-Gaza peace plan and was meant to oversee the ceasefire and reconstruction of the Palestinian territory. Mr. Trump says the board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created.
We can spread out to other things as we succeed with Gaza. We're going to be very successful in Gaza. It's going to be a great thing to watch. And we can do other things. We can do numerous other things. Once this board is completely formed, we can do pretty much whatever we want to do. And we'll do it in conjunction with the United Nations. And I think the combination of the Board of Peace with the kind of people we have here, coupled with the United Nations, can be something very, very unique for the world. It's for the world. This isn't United States. This is for the world.
Our correspondent, Daniel Winter, is in Davos, mixing it with the rich, the famous and the influential. Welcome, Daniel. So tell us more about this launch and how it was received.
Well, it was the talk of the day here in Davos, not just a potential replacement for the United Nations as it was pitched varyingly by Donald Trump, but also him installing himself as the chairman of the board. During his inaugural speech, he positioned himself as a peacemaker. He described himself as having ended 8 conflicts in his first year as president. And yet, of course, as we've already heard, it comes just a short time after Trump renounced any potential military action to take over Greenland. We spoke to a signatory, the signatory from the most populous country after the United States itself, Indonesia President Prabowo Subianto, said the message was to give peace a chance and that this was the best chance in many years. But the big story here is who hasn't signed on. Germany, France and the UK, among the big names, among the big US allies, who've so far said no to being on the Board of Peace.
And so are we any clearer about what this board will actually do?
Well, it's there in order to help support the Gaza ceasefire. That was the initial plan, to keep the truce alive and to steer what comes next, and the Gaza peace plan being its initial test case. But Donald Trump said that it could go on to be a model to be applied to other conflicts in the world. He even suggested it could replace some UN functions, but then reiterated the fact that it could also work in conjunction with the UN. The draft charter circulating around this week, though, suggests that the aim is to restore lawful governance and to create an enduring peace. But of course, Donald Trump would decide on those outcomes and the membership of the board in the future.
OK, stay with us, Daniel, because it's all been happening there. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also addressed the forum today, and he took aim at Europe and questioned its defence readiness.
Instead of becoming a truly global power, Europe remains a beautiful but fragmented kaleidoscope of small and middle powers. Instead of taking the lead in defending freedom worldwide, especially when America's focus shifts elsewhere, Europe looks lost, trying to convince the US president to change. But he will not change.
Daniel, the Ukrainian president seems annoyed. Tell us more about what he said and, crucially, how his words were received.
Well, it was a stormy speech from President Zelensky, basically calling on Europe to do more, to stand up, to push back. His speech was full of admonition for European countries. He complained that not enough progress is being made on establishing a special tribunal against Russian aggression, saying that too often in Europe something else is more urgent than justice. He also said that Europe needs to know how to defend itself, including calling on Europe to bring together a united European army as a kind of a backstop, a failsafe, in case NATO fails to act.
And he also met Donald Trump. What came out of that meeting?
Well, I mean, there's no clear breakthrough as far as we can see, at least not publicly. Trump called it a good meeting and repeated the fact that this war must end, something that he has said before, but there was very little in terms of detailed deliverables. But what we do have is process. So Trump's envoys are due to go to Moscow for talks with Putin, and Zelensky pointed out to an imminent trilateral talks in the United Arab Emirates between Ukraine, the US and Russia. So those are due to start tomorrow.
Thanks.